Mohammed El-Arian said, the CEO of PIMCO, he told me, look, the companies have the money, but they don't have the will to be spending them on plants, on people, and on technology, on innovation. How do we encourage business to start making those investments?
Well, businesses need to lead. They lead the economy. They lead the job creation in this country. And I think what our job at the Department of Commerce is to work to create the conditions so that businesses have the confidence to invest. And, we're doing that. We're very much supportive of helping businesses. And what I've heard them ask us to do is really help them export. They're interested in doing more exports. They want to see more investment into the United States by foreign companies. And so we have a very robust trade and investment agenda. They want to see immigration reform. That was probably the #2 thing that I heard from businesses as I went on my listening tour. And the #3 thing was really help us with the skilled workforce. We want, companies want to see the training apparatus in this country being effective in supplying human capital that can fill the great jobs that are being created by companies.
Madam Secretary, I hear that from CEOs and executives in so many different industries. They say, Christine, you talk about how many people are out of work. I'm telling you, I can't fill the jobs I need to fill with the right kinds of skills, which makes me wonder, would we be better served by transitioning this emergency funding from emergency unemployment benefits and some of these other recession-era programs that are they're going to expire? Should we be transitioning from that into workforce training programs, into getting people who are out of work into these jobs that are in such high demand?
I don't think it's an either-or when it comes to unemployment insurance. If I've been unemployed for a longer period of time and I'm out, I have to be out looking for a job to get that payment. And so I need that support in order to support my family. But we also need to be doing a better job in terms of our workforce training ecosystem. And what's so exciting is this is for the first time the Department of Commerce has made this a priority, and we are partnering with the Department of Labor. And the reason is there's an absolute understanding the business community has to lead in terms of workforce training. We can't divine what the business community needs. Locally, they need to say, here's what we need, and then have the universities, the community colleges, the workforce training providers locally providing the kind of employees.
Let me ask you about this. The president has called income inequality the defining challenge of our time. That is going to be the topic, we're told, for next year, for the sort of the business economics message from this White House. Madam Secretary, you have a pretty interesting perspective on this. You're number 277 on the Forbes list of billionaires, worth more than $2 billion. How do you see it from your perspective? Is rising income inequality, is that a threat to the American dream?
I think it's extremely important that we have economic mobility in our country. And that's what the president is saying. We need to offer up to a young person the kind of education that they need to be able to be successful. We need to offer support to people so that they know that the American dream is alive and well for them. I'm the great-granddaughter of an immigrant who came to the United States believing in America, and he was able, throughout the generations, our family was able to build great wealth. That needs to be the American story, not just for my kids and grandkids, but for eternity around this country. So the president is right to focus on making sure that there's economic mobility and that there's an ability for someone to, if they go out and they're willing to work hard and educate themselves, that they can get a good job and support their family.
In the meantime, I guess, to ameliorate the fact that so many people are not managing to move up that income ladder, the White House is talking about raising the minimum wage, a livable wage. You've been an employer, you've built companies, you've hired people, you've fired people. What does your gut say about raising the minimum wage right now?
Well, I think we need to raise the minimum wage because currently the minimum wage doesn't provide a livable wage for someone who's fully employed. And so that's absolutely necessary. I don't think it's going to have any kind of economic impediment. And so my view is that this is important in order, and think about it, this is also going to create more consumers, more families that are able to afford to enjoy the fruits of their labor, which is really what we want. We want that kind of, that's the value, of our country. That's part of what we stand for, is that if someone works hard and they're willing to, be trained and they're willing to be adaptable and flexible, that, you know, society owes them the opportunity to be successful. And so I don't think it's in conflict with economic growth at all in this country. I think it's absolutely in alignment.